Hello everybody and welcome to this tutorial. Today I'm going to be talking about a command line interface for Wireshark. But before I go into all of that, let me just say that we went over the first portion of our course, and we have learned some of the basic and fundamental things needed for us to use Wireshark and to successfully capture traffic with it. Now from this point onwards we will start to deal with semi-advanced things, and we will move on to advanced things. If you haven't watched the first part and you've never encountered Wireshark before, make sure to tune in there and have a look at those videos, and then come here, because here I am not going to be using the graphical interface for Wireshark. Now you might wonder yourselves, why should anybody not want to use the graphical interface? I mean, surely it is easier. Well, yeah, theoretically it is easier, primarily because people are used to just clicking places instead of typing in commands. However, not all environments will support graphical interfaces, especially server environments. And that is most likely where you will need to go and capture traffic. Routers, for example, will not support graphical environments, but you won't be able to install a Wireshark on a router anyway. For routers, I will have a separate section where I will explain how you can capture traffic, be it on your local router inside of your home, or on some remote router within LAN or something of a kind. In any case, today I want to focus on this command line interface, and I want to show you how you can actually do this within an environment that doesn't have a graphical interface at all, that does not support, for example, some sort of a server such as a web server, I don't know, a DNS server or something of a kind. You won't be able to do anything else other than to use the command line interface, or there is actually another option which is quite common these days as well. You can set your server up in such a way that it forwards information to a certain place, and that certain place can be your computer workstation with a Wireshark installed, and in such a way you can capture traffic as well. That is what they mostly do on routers. They set up one port on the router to which all data is copied and transmitted, and in such a way you can also monitor traffic. But with that we shall deal a bit later on. For the time being, I just want to introduce you to this command line interface, and I want you to see how it works, what are its capabilities, and what you can actually do with it. One more thing to note is that you can have an interaction, you can have an active interaction between your command line interface and your graphical interface. For example, you can create a file on a server somewhere that doesn't have a graphical interface, and then you can use a command line interface from Wireshark to capture all the packets, put them into that file. Afterwards, you can either send the file via mail, or you can save it to a USB and bring it physically to a different computer or something of a kind where you have graphical interface. Afterwards, all that information that is saved within a file, PCAP file, that's the extension for Wireshark files. It's just .pcap. You have different extensions like .txt or .docx or something of a kind. Well, for Wireshark files, it's .pcap. So P and then cap, CAP. Anyway, you can import that file into Wireshark, the one that actually has graphical interface, and analyze it there. Apply filters during. It's not going to be a live capture session, but you're going to have a file which you will be able to filter out, see the packets, etc., and so on. I will show this in greater detail as we progress through this tutorial, but for the time being, I just wanted to introduce you to the command line interface of Wireshark. So, without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and type in tshark. Oops, that didn't work out. So tshark, which is a command for Wireshark command line interface, and I'm going to type in --help, press enter, and this is going to give us a list of possible arguments that we can pass to a command. Let me just explain this a bit better. So tshark is a command, and then you can use dash, and I don't know, press -h. You're just passing arguments to this command. These arguments can vary. I don't know, you have -h for list of all the options that you can have. You can have -w to write the output to a file or something of a kind. Worry not about it. I will go pretty much through all of these arguments separately. I will explain in detail what each one of them does, and by the end of the day, you will be able to use command line interface successfully without any problems or anything of a kind, and you will understand the power of it, what you can do with it, and where it will excel the most. Because speaking in all honesty, you will need the command line interface. Whether you like typing commands in or not, eventually, at some point of time, as a network administrator, you will have to use it primarily because you will encounter these environments where you simply don't have any sort of graphics of whatsoever. Be, that being left aside for the time being, I'm just gonna go ahead and scroll upward, and you can see all the incredible amount of arguments that you can actually pass, ranging from filtering the outputs to giving flags when to stop the capture or even when to start the capture. So, for example, you can specify start the capture in an hour, capture packets for, I don't know, 30 minutes, stop, then repeat the process again in 2 hours or something of a kind. The possibilities are practically infinite, which is very nice because it fits tools. It can be made to fit tool situations, so to say. And here we go. I have typed in T-Shark help here, and the listing begins from there. I don't know, you have some copyright things here regarding Wireshark. It's completely open source, so you don't have to worry about that. You see the copyright here says that it doesn't claim responsibility for the use of Wireshark, and that it doesn't guarantee that it's fit for any particular purpose. So if you don't succeed doing anything with it, it's not their problem. They didn't guarantee anything. But more likely than not, it will come in handy and be very useful in a lot of situations. Anyway, in the follow-up tutorials, I'm going to explain these commands, these arguments, what they do. We're going to use a lot of them and demonstrate how they can be effective in various situations. Thank you for your time, and I hope I'll see you in the next tutorial.